is a way, folks, to get out of the machinations of the mind.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
Welcome, everybody, to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you to talk to you about raising your vibration to grow your healing business. There is a way, folks, to get out of the machinations of the mind that are looking for strategies and think that that is always kind of the way to make it happen. Like, I need to know the right things to do. I need to set up my back end. I need to set up my Facebook profile right, my Facebook groups. I need to set up, whatever, IG right, or what have you. All these different, strategies. Get my posts right. Just go ahead and do what everybody else is doing. Just kind of copycatting, these different techniques that people are teaching you, or you see other people using, but then you go to do them, and then somehow, wow, if it works, it doesn't work long, and it fizzles out, and it doesn't connect for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. I want to just start by saying, in my travels as a spiritual, business owner, entrepreneur type, over all these years, starting back in 2006 online, that the number one catalyst for all my growth has been around raising my vibration and following the good energy. It's been the number one, thing. Everything else sort of follows from that. You might see me on another video. I say something else is the number one thing, but and the reason why I even bring that up is because there are so many critical pieces. But when you really think about it, if you don't have good energy, you could maybe, pull off some success in any endeavor for a period of time, but it's not sustainable, right? Where, if you're coming from good energy, everything becomes magnetized to you, and everything's much more simplified. I think about people who are talking about, they share some strategies, but they also clear people's energies and whatnot. What I'm seeing from them is they've raised their energy so high that their strategies will actually work. So if you're trying to implement something new in your business, you're like, okay, this is what the goal is, this is what I need to do, and then you can follow it only so long, or you never even follow it, and then it falls short. There's a reason for that, why you don't consistently get people on your calendar that might be a good fit for you to be a client. Why you might continue to have a project to get off the ground that never does get off the ground. So many things that people all say are saying no, they don't have the money, or they got other coaches, or whatever you're running into. It's based on your vibration. You want to go ahead and you want to start working with your vibration to raise it. Now, this is not a brand new idea. I did a telesummit actually on this very, very topic, many, many years ago, in fact. And actually, that summit, opted in many thousands of people, and was a big foundation of all the followers that I had for many years. So it goes to show, that idea, that truth, that you need to raise your vibration is key. It's key for us. I've done a show before as a little intertwined with some political sort of ideas, to be honest, but I've talked about love and above here before, the power versus force concept. When you're operating at love and above, vibrationally, that things go well. Love being kind of that tipping point into higher vibration, or you could look at it as the center of, where we need to be focused. But like, as you get to those higher levels of vibration, it just seems like there's an ease, because that's who we really are. We're a higher vibrational nature, is our true nature. And I'm going to get into some tips, some details around raising your vibration so you can grow your healing business today, just so you know. And I'm going to talk about also, some case studies, of my clients, where that was the absolute key not only to raising up their business, but also to be very happy and very fulfilled in what they're doing, to experience, their best life ever, right? So we'll get into that as well today. So why is it that we do get stuck in lower vibrations and start getting into our head more? What is that all about? Oh boy, there's a lot going on there. But historically, what it is again, you've heard these things online that make so much sense. We are survival prone in terms of our focus. We're how do I survive? And then after we get past survival, right, it's almost like the Maslow hierarchy of needs. If we're managing to pull that off, and the mind's always vigilant in that, even when you're at higher vibration, some part of the mind is still around monitoring threat levels. If you get past that and allow yourself to go higher and higher, the next thing might be that you're wondering about security. Maybe I'm not going to die, but am I really secure to have what I already have, and can I maintain that? So that's where your brain kicks in when it comes your subconscious and your conscious mind is thinking, man, can I even pull off like paying the bills and all that stuff? Like that's where that part of your mind starts kicking in. Oh my God, security, I better not say something crazy on social media, or who I already have following me might not follow me, or I better not send that email or people might unsubscribe. Like that's the security mindset, right? So as you raise up, like there's these different levels, and some of these things you might find within certain, descriptors within Power versus Force, which I talked about as a book. There's a chart, in that book by David Hawkins. I highly recommend you check out the chart at least online, get the book if you're inspired. As we raise up that level, like there's different, concerns, and you are going to a higher level in order in nature as you keep raising up on the scale. Like as you get out of, like he says on his scale, he says shame, I think it was the number one, like lowest vibration. Like if you're in shame, things like that, where like sometimes I've seen it like I've done the elevator technique, raising up your consciousness. You go to lowest level consciousness, you go hang out in a room with people like that in a meditation. People are chopping off their hands and limbs, and they're like literally just focused on like inflicting pain on themselves more than anything. And then as you go up the elevator, you see like they're self-actualizing more and more. Becoming more and more into the wholeness and vibration of who they are. And so as we raise up, then that's where we get out of those places. Because when you're in survival and security mindset, your head is turned on and you start thinking things, you're in panic and anxiety, and you're thinking, what's the thing? I don't know where to get clients. I don't know how to grow my business. You start saying things like that. And that little mind doesn't know. It's like, I'm just trying to hang on to what I got and to keep myself to survive. And it can't get beyond that. So even though you might have the most brilliant strategies and tactics ever, when you're caught up in those energies, it's not likely ever to work. And if it does, it's going to be a blip on the map. It will not sustain. It will not work for very long. It's what I've seen. Now, strategies sometimes and tactics can shift your energy. So the thing is, you might get excited. Something might shift your consciousness with the strategy and tactics. Then it might all work. It's possible, guys. I'm not going to say they can't work. There's definitely, I mean, that'd be so much BS. You can find so many coaches that focus primarily, they'll say, I just do strategy and tactics. But what they're really doing is they're flipping on people's energy and mindset with the strategy and tactics. And if they only are teaching strategy and tactics, they're just not going to work for very long, if at all. And so that's where so many people are disappointed and they sign up for programs as work, because whatever needed to flip in their energy didn't flip. So that's what's really needed. So then what is the solution to the problem of, all this survival security energy? It's programmed into our DNA. It's programmed in our ancestry where we're trying to survive from there, and that you have past lives, where security and survival is a big thing that gets carried over in this lifetime, typically. So in this life, you've had experiences where you had a feeling you need to survive and seek security, approval from others. what changes all that? So you have to realize, okay, I can't operate like most humans have for the longest time. That's the first thing. I can't operate that way. If I'm focused on raising my vibration, that is just not typically, especially for most of my listeners in the Western world, that isn't typically how we operate our lives up to now. It's not been about higher vibration. It's been about, getting into maybe a decent vibration, maybe kind of a secure, happy, content vibration at best. But, life's a struggle, life's a beach, and all that kind of stuff. Like, those ideas have been around for a long time. And, your only salvation is in heaven. That's where you'll finally be happy. And but the truth is, for those, as Jesus has said, heaven's on earth for those who have eyes to see. And so when we wake up to that and we become the exception, like Jesus was, or others that have embodied higher vibration, in this lifetime, whatever examples you want to go to, because people are really great energy. Right now, a lot of times I talk about Eckhart Tolle. There's so many, Wayne Dyer, whatever, people in this field, people outside of this field, you know, that have raised their energy up. I was thinking about a billionaire in Japan. I forget his name, but he's all about just be happy. He sells all kinds of things. He's got all kinds of companies, and he's basically just like all good energy and gratitude. And he says that's the key. Like how are you so successful? And he's like, it's all about gratitude and good energy. And Mierto, I think, is the phrase, something like that. So it's not like the ideas aren't around, that people aren't, hip to the idea of raising vibration. We hear it all the time, good vibes and all that stuff. But so few people like really center their life around it. And so I know that I have, and I have also descended into security and survival stuff along my journey since 2006. It's happened. And so what I've learned is that the only way for those of us that are spiritual, connected beings, that are mission in this life is to ascend, so to speak, in vibration. There's a lot of ideas around ascension, but to ascend in vibration, to come back home, to experience the oneness and wholeness that we are, all that stuff. You can't do other things that are coming from security and survival, or even pride. And I'll show everybody, I'll prove them all wrong. I will succeed at the highest levels in the outside world. You can't do it that way. There's a lot of people that have done success that way. You can't do it that way. You have, inside you, many of you anyway, a soul agreement not to do that. So if you try to go down that pathway, you're even dipping into that pathway a bit, it just isn't going to work very long, if at all. So I could keep saying the same thing. I know with that, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So the thing is, and again, if it works, it's like me. Like I've gotten angry and won a tennis match. Wow, congratulations. Try it 100 more times. It's not going to sustain for me, right? I got angry and I signed up a new client because I just got so tired of not having clients, and like maybe whatever back in the day. And okay, it worked. Now do it forever. I always say, like, whatever you think is working, just do it forever and just see. But if someone said live in high vibes and manifest new clients forever, you'll be like, sign me up, right? So the key is the high vibrations. And so starting with that, so how do we do that? What are some of my examples of doing that? So I'm going to use my case studies to, I won't give their names, but I'll give the examples of raising your vibration to grow your healing business, and how I've helped people to do that. And within those case studies, I'll be pointing out, some keys, in each case of what flipped things for them. And yes, there's always strategy involved, but it started with vibration. Not only to have more impact and have more clients, help more people with their mission, not and just to make more money, but also to have, again, the experience of heaven on earth is an increasingly frequent, or all the time, maybe not all the time, but not all the time, but the regular vibration, the norm for their life, increasingly, or just period, like they're happier than ever before. they're having the best life ever. Okay, so let me give you like three examples. Okay, so not that I only, there's always more, but like let me give you three. So I had someone like, I'll give you at least three or four. Okay, I'm thinking of another one too that I want to bring in. I had one person that got referred to work with me, and the first time she met with me, I did channeling and energy scanning. Channeling, I don't know if Jesus or what have you, I don't even remember, but her energy, she came in with enthusiasm from the referral, admittedly, but she came in, she felt the high vibration. And then, I offered to, support her to build her business through my support. So what happened is for this person is through the constant encouragement, like one of the things I do with my clients, my one-to-one clients, especially, but really if you're in a group, I do it as well in a group sense. But I would send her a lot of WhatsApp messages and do prayer work and, all these things and have her practicing, meditating, tuning into her guides every day, right? All those things. And between all those things that she was able to flip from, not getting clients to getting clients and making the five, at that time it was, I think, 5 to 10,000 a month. I don't remember all the numbers. I just remember the big flip of energy, and then the money started pouring in. And so, like that would be an example. So that was an extra example. Actually, it was one of my core ones I was going to even use. But then I've had other clients. So that was another one that started off with a meager, client list or next to nothing. And then I had another one just recently who has had some successes in the past, but had been in a funk, for quite a while. I want to say for years, and last year especially had been not a great year. So she comes into in this case, a group program where we talk about I lead like Jesus and prosper your business program, and it's focused on living from the heaven on earth frequency. And when she really bought into my job is to stay centered in the eternal and live heaven on earth and let everything generate from that space, when that really started kicking in as more of her predominant focus, then the opportunities came in, speaking opportunities, and the people wanting to work with her, and combining that with what I teach with energy scan training that I've done with this person, like everything clicked in, and she went from very little coming in to a 10K month, which she hadn't had in a very long time. And it's because she flipped her energy. Her energy got to a level where it could flip, and where there's a sense of more and more that can come into her business now. And so she's doing meditation, she's going for her walks, she's just centered in this with everything that brings her that state of connection, whether it's with her hubby or going out in nature, whatever. All the different things connecting with source is the foundation. And then it's like, oh yeah, do this, do that, offer these programs, get focused on your intent, all the other things that we talk about strategy wise to get focused and trained on an energy train that, produces the results. But she's already foundationally coming from a place of abundance and wholeness because she's living from the heaven on earth frequency, cultivating that, and in that trust of living from that place, and then the rest auto generates from there with some focus, with some intention, with a little bit of strategy. No, nothing complicated. My goodness, show up as a speaker, and for her, she got in front of the right people as a speaker that particular month, because the energy state she was in and the focus she had with it all, she was able to sign on a bunch of clients all at once. So that would be one example. Congratulations to this person. So, and then, another example would be one of my clients who, had a six-figure business already, was already having some success, but the consistency wasn't there in the business. It would be either something all at once or nothing at all for months and months and months and months and months. And then with a lot of, business coaching involved too, and sales training as well, because I do all these things. I am very, very sharp on helping people with the one-to-one sales process. So helping him with that and helping him to tune into the opportunities with each prospect and literally every prospect he goes to meet with, I tune in ahead of time. We tune in to how it went and in the process, and helps him to close a lot of people into his programs. But then there would be, again, still some momentary blips, even within the better energy he was getting in, the confidence, the practices, doing more meditation, everything. It still wasn't quite there. And then we identified exactly what it was. He still was not being consistent with meditation. He wasn't making the energy first. Once he started making the energy first, not only did his business continue to grow more, but he also was able to proclaim that his life is better than ever. And in fact, going into this year, with these practices, he's because he wants to, he's working more than ever, feverishly in a way that he feels good to him. And if he gets off center, he's able to come back to center like 1,000 times faster than ever before, it seems like, we all have fragmentation. We all run into moments or half a day or a day or whatever it is for some, whatever different varies for different people, but he's able to get back to center, and that continues to keep the momentum going in his business. And then therefore, again, yeah, sales and his impact and growing and scaling to the level of his soul's calling and mission, which is what I'm all about. Let's scale to the calling of your soul, the mission that you've come here to fulfill. Not just, oh, I want to make 6 figures, 7 figures. Those are just nice intentions. Those are wonderful stepping stones into your greatest impact into the world, right? So he's building his company. He's hired on people now to help him. And he's gone into, of course, the multi 6 figures, and it's just ready to keep scaling and scaling. There's a whole plan for it to just continue to grow and, to the next level, next level, and next level. So we already have those plans in place, which allows him to be relaxed in a way, because he's not in a place of survival and security as much as he's like, yeah, I'm growth oriented. I'm seeing the bigger vision. I'm committed to it. Commitment's a big thing too, right? I'm committed to it, and I'm committed to it in the way that works for me, which is an expertise I have, is helping people to do it in the way that works for them, in the energy they want to live in. Everybody has different, keywords that help them to focus, like heaven on earth for the one client. This client's more like, we talk about being connected, right? So whatever it is, like, you have that focus. And the first focus has to be on energy. So that's another, one of the success stories. And then and examples with energy. So, both cases is with meditation, but then, even with the second one, like this last one, I gave 3 examples, but I'm going more in depth with these last 2. He was also doing a number of other things that he was sort of already doing when he came to me, but he's more consistent now with everything. So he does hiking and, plunges and all that, whatever, all these different things, breath work, etc. He's doing all these things for his energy. And when your energy is precious and you're really connected, everything's 1,000 times easier, 1,000 times easier to manifest. Okay, so those are some examples, and then yeah, I mean, for me, I'm gonna give one more example in a moment, but for myself, like my foundation with meditation, often I've meditated, 3 times a day, during the week. During the weekend, I tend to meditate once a week, once a day, once a week, what I'm saying, once a day. But, during the week, I always ramp it up. I think maybe it's been influenced too. It's just what feels true for me, but maybe it's influenced a little bit from, Mahatma Gandhi, who has been a big guy that I've channeled in the past a lot. And him saying on a busy day, I better meditate more, whatever the quote is, but that he believed in that you need to make sure you stay more connected if you're getting busy, because you might slip presence more. And Gandhi was known to be so powerful because of that people wouldn't want to take meetings with him for negotiations because they knew they would just want to give to him. They would just want to give to him because his energy's too strong. It can't, irresistible. Remember this, become that irresistible energy. And then, you'll just be experiencing bliss and joy and love more in your norm, and things will just happen. The opportunities you're wanting that you're just barely thinking about, but you're desiring, will tend to come automatically more on the regular for you then. Like, wow, there it is again. There's another one. And yes, is focus. There is an action plan. There is all those things still. It's all of it. It's not just one piece, but you'll find more on the regular, things are coming in more easily. Okay, so those are some of the examples I wanted to share with you. So if you feel like you're stuck and barely any clients, you want to flip up to whatever 10,000 or more rapidly, flip with your energy and get the focus you need on who you are, who you serve, all the other things that are quite important as well. But without the energy, forget about it. So those are the things. Because with those clients too, I have helped them with all those other, details as well, like your message, who you are, your how you meant to serve within the containers that you create, or to optimize the containers, like your group program, or your one-to-one services, or whatever, like optimizing it all and then valuing it enough, right? Valuing it enough so that the growth can happen. And always, being able to anchor with stretching, maybe quantum leaping, to new levels, so you can see far more growth in your business that way. So yeah, so these are some of the examples I wanted to share with you today. I'll give maybe, like I said, I promised 3, right? But there's so many, I don't, I'm sensitive to not keep repeating certain ones I've said so many times before. But I think about another person that I have, you used his name a lot before, but he came in, he was on welfare and drugs. I'll just share this one real briefly because actually now I'm remembering the third one that I wanted to share with, another one I want to share with you. So, like, yeah, I've always talked about this one. He came in, he just needed someone to believe in who he really was enough. And that was a big key. And then once I was able to see what he was capable of and keep claiming that for him, and then encourage him while he continued to raise his vibration through confidence as much as anything. Someone loving him, someone believing in him, someone helping him to have permission to be who he is, and to love himself and to play more. Then he was able to, go to 6 figures, multi 6 figures, and continue to have it be easier and easier and easier as he worked with me. So it's another example without getting in depth with that one. The other one I wanted to mention, just to show how powerful the energy is I have had people where they just meet with me a time or two and it changes everything. I can remember a 7 figure, I believe, entrepreneur was stagnating, and did even just one session with me. We did ended up doing 2, but he did one session with me, and I did an energy clearing with him. I dialogue with people, different people's energy and the parts inside them and their shadows and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we did a process with him, and through that process alone, like I just did that process, and within 45 days, his whole business had flipped back up. Like he had been, at all these higher levels, and everything had been on a downturn. And then because in part, from that session, then everything started to flip. He started selling again. He was re-energized. His sense of this is happening turned on. And that's one of my big powers that I bring into people, is the part of them that wants to believe they can do it gets embodied, gets turned on, and then they're unstoppable. They become unstoppable. Now we can always stop ourselves again, but you would get on that unstoppable train. As long as you maintain the momentum, you'll continue to expand and grow. So anyway, I wanted to mention that one too, because in that case, I forget, I don't know the numbers, but he sold many VIPs packages and whatnot. I remember he said, and whatever it was, but he had a big bump up in sales right after that session. So guys, whatever level you're at, I know there is an energetic, solution, to what's going on top of, if you just on your own just decide I'm going to commit to living in a heaven and earth frequency or staying connected or whatever your keyword is, and doing your practices and coming from that expanded place like I've talked about for years and years, endless years, and then be inspired, listening to your intuition in every single moment, not listen to it and just doggedly do things and then don't listen to it, like listen to it constantly, even if it contradicts itself at times, you get a redirect. It's okay to get a redirect, guys. It's okay that if your sense of your intuition changes at any given moment, you got to be ready for that. But even if you just, if you went to go ahead and just implement the steps I talked about here, meditate, do the things that raise your vibration, bring that connectedness into your business, follow your inspiration, don't be the worker be the intuitivepreneur, probably that phrase is already used somewhere, but be the intuitivepreneur or the high vibrational preneur that's not looking at like sweating it out like the really wealthy people. um, some of them work hard, so to speak. They use those words, but the happiest ones, in my experience, the really blissful ones, tend to work a lot less, and they just can expand, indefinitely. Again, I look at Eckhart Tolle's worth. I don't know. I read it somewhere recently, but I think they say it's worth 70 to 80 million dollars, maybe is what I saw. Like what's his net worth or something. I think I saw that somewhere. Anyway, something like that, tens of millions of dollars at least, if not more. Um, he's making it as simple as possible. He's trying to be as lazy as possible. You ask him, I've he may not say it from stage that way, but I've heard this from people that work with him. And guys, that's why the spiritual rock star exists in part, is like it's about this in part, 100% coming from source, coming from a higher vibration, trusting it, following through on that vibration. And if you feel like you could use support though to be able to, it's one thing, oh, just go do it, like, okay, I'll do it. All right, I got it all here right now, right? And it's like, go implement. Okay, man, I'm really pissed off about something, and whatever. Like all your stuff might just show up right away again, right? And throw you off track, scatter you, confuse you, and so that's where, getting support comes in. And I only work with a few people when it comes to especially one-to-one groups, a little bit more, but obviously, but uh, if you're feeling you could use a boost, you could use somebody to champion you in a high vibrational state to follow basically this method of being a high vibration, follow through on your intuition, constantly listen to your intuition, keep following it in every moment, and all the other things, valuing yourself, and get the business coaching that'll make it all work a lot easier for you too. That you actually, the rubber hits the road completely with that part as well, but coming from that energy foundation of higher vibration. you know I'm the guy for you. I want to say, how 1,000,000% I can help you. So if that's interesting to you, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com to reach out to me. I've got a free meditate and make money meditation. You could start there. And then if you're considering receiving more from me and you want to talk to me about your situation, have me tune into you a little bit and start to come up with some solutions, and maybe give you a proposal how I can help, or give you some directions of what might work for you independent of me, I'm happy to do that as well, because I'm very precise about listening to my intuition and who I'm to work with. So when you go ahead and opt in at yoursacredpurpose.com for that meditate and make money meditation, which itself is going to help you make more money. Trust me, if you listen to it each day, it will. Go ahead, just email me. Why don't you just go ahead and put free 15-minute energy scan consultation. Put more time on the books than that, probably. Just put that in, reference this show, reference the name of the show, say I'd love to meet with Daniel. I'd love to consider the possibility of working with him. I have no idea what he would recommend, but I'd love to meet with him. Go ahead and contact me. We'll go from there. Okay. So Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to share some of these things. What raises your vibration? Sometimes creating like a bliss list is helpful. Like, and then sometimes if you can see like the things that you really love, like I'll give you one or two more tips here to wrap up. Like you think about like the things that you're really blissful about that do market your business and help sell what you have to share. Like those things, of course, you should be doing on the regular, right? Whether it's speaking, for me, like speaking on this podcast is definitely high vibration. Like I probably enjoy meeting with my guests even more because I love that connection with people, right? Than even a solo podcast. But I love this as well. Like, what are the things you love to do that do help you to generate clients? Definitely make sure you start doing more of those and trust that. Don't keep listening to people say, well, just, this thing could work for you. Um, and you're like, oh, I don't even know if I want to do that, but that's what it takes. I'll do it. Like, you know what? 9 times out of 10, as they say, or more, that's not going to be the answer for you. Got to go with what you enjoy. Live the life you love. That's one of the big secrets to happy, successful people in life and in business. So go in that direction. Okay. All right, there's so much more I could share with you, but I'm going to leave it there for now. And like I always say as I wrap up each show, you keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.